This is the Oppo Reno 12 Pro, the first Oppo phone to come with generative AI. So let's dive into that and find out what else is great about this phone. Now, before we start the unboxing, let me stop by just saying how pretty the box looks, where it has a really eye-catching multicolored and reflective band that wraps around the right side with a bold and a textured 12 on it. Then inside of the box, there's the silicone phone case, an 80-watt SuperVOOC charging brick, and a USB-A to USB-C cable. So when it comes to the design and build, apparently Oppo took the design inspiration from a fashion sense, attempting to combine two styles into one distinctive design. The space brown variant, which I have, looks more like black, with a matte glass on top and a glossy finish at the bottom. It overall feels nice to the hands, especially with a matte finish on top. But yeah, the Nebula Silver that I saw online indeed looks very interesting. Then Oppo also included a high-strength alloy framework that enhances corrosion resistance, temperature resistance and thermal conductivity with aerospace-grade level strength, and still managed to have the phone to weigh below 200 grams, which is about 180 grams. Then the edges felt slightly sharp feeling, but it doesn't dig into your hands uncomfortably, just like how other smartphones do. But because the sides are glossy and also right at the bottom, so it will attract some fingerprints over here. Other than that, you'll find everything to be placed where it's supposed to be, like the button placements and the speaker. But the good news is there is still an IR blaster on top, and it is something that I really appreciated very much since we have a total of 8 icons here in the studio. So instead of me carrying 8 remote controls, I can just use this phone and just teet, teet, teet. And what's interesting is the fact that the phone also has an expandable storage that can go up to 1 terabyte. So thank you Oppo for including that. Now, as for the phone screen, it comes with a 6.7-inch AMOLED display with a dynamic 120Hz refresh rate, a resolution of 2412 by 1080 and a peak brightness of 1200 nits. Because this phone screen is not your typical smartphone screen, and if you're wondering why do I say that, well, let me explain. Now, first of all, the phone uses a brand new Infinite View screen, which Oppo claims it to be the most advanced screen technology that you can find on any smartphone. Now, this feature combines a curved screen, expanded views, and a rounded grip with a flat screen, accurate touch recognition and durability. And together with the quad micro curve design, it helps to reduce accidental touches on the edges of the screen and overall enhances the visual immersion. And that's just not it, because it comes with other 2 very interesting features, which is the Splash Touch and Bedtime Mode. So Splash Touch allows you to use the display like a normal display without any hiccups, even if there are any water droplets on it, which was really great to know. Then the bedtime mode simply adjusts the color temperature of the phone's display, which decreases the impact on your natural melatonin level. And I truly believe in this, since my whole home ceiling lights also are tuned to that to have a better sleep quality at night. Then as for the screen quality, the colors on the phone was actually really nice. They are punchy and well saturated and provide a very good immersion level when watching movies or videos as well. Then the brightness is also very acceptable too, where you can see things clearly even in bright daylight, so no issues over here. And one huge underrated feature is the fact that the display can be adjusted to become really dim, dimmer than a lot of phones that I've used. And the reason why this is incredibly underrated is because it stops your eyes from being straining too much, especially when you're using your phone in the dark before going to sleep, which I don't recommend for you to do, because you want to get the best quality sleep. Please don't use your phone, especially at night before sleeping. However, the display is slightly off when it comes to responsiveness. It's not really a huge problem during normal use, but it does become a bit off when you start to game on this, and I'll talk about more on the gaming performance later on in this video. Now, moving on to the phone's camera. The main 50-megapixel camera has a Sony LYT600 sensor that includes OIS. The other cameras are a 50-megapixel telephoto with 2x optical zoom and 20x hybrid zoom, and an 8-megapixel ultrawide camera that can capture up to 112 degrees field of view. So how was the camera's performance? Very good actually. First of all, the high megapixel mode can go up to 2x, but keep in mind that the colors do become a bit more vibrant at 2x mode over here, but maintaining the amazing sharpness in terms of the details throughout. The ultrawide lenses at 16mm was flawless, as seen in these images over here. Then the main lens's color consistency was great, besides its amazing quality as well. And because it has a dedicated telephoto lens, the 47mm photos look very nice too, and even the 113mm focal length also produced some amazing shots. And the maximum zoom of 20x was just decent but really great in a bright area or during the day. And the portrait mode on the phone was really fantastic. There are two focal modes that you can adjust, and it produced great results when it comes to objects or even a person. But for me, the 2x portrait mode looks really amazing, specifically for persons as seen in these photos. Then at night, the ultra-wide lenses look good for scenes that doesn't have a lot of lampposts because it doesn't handle glare so well as seen in this photo, but it did perform very well under a low light environment situation. Then the main lenses during at night was also really great thanks to the OIS, so were the telephoto lenses too, which also did extremely well in a low light environment. Portrait mode for objects and person also performed as great as the daytime shots as seen in these photos. Then as for the front camera, it also comes with a huge 50 megapixel camera, and because of that, not only it produced some crisp selfies and amazing skin tones during the day with fantastic dynamic range for the background blur area, but it also had similar amazing results for the nighttime selfies as well, something that a lot of phones within this segment doesn't do. Then there are 3 focal lengths of the selfie mode, a 0.8, a 1x and also a 2x as well for the regular selfie modes, and just 2 focal lengths on the portrait selfies with adjustments of the aperture value as usual. Then finally for video, the ultra-wide lenses record up to a maximum resolution of 1080p where the stabilization was really great, and while the 4K video and the telephoto lenses did great when it comes to the quality, but the stabilization was just decent, not as good as the ultra-wide or the super steady mode, but the super steady mode will bring down the resolution to 1080p, so you can choose what your priorities are. Then as for the front camera, it can record up to 4K, so take that, Poco. And during the day and night was great and performing way better during the day, of course. But the 1080p video did better on the stabilization, and here's a vlogging test using different resolutions and of course for you to hear how the audio recording quality is.
You know what's interesting? I can do 4K 30 FPS on the ultra wide angle mode on the 4K front camera. The quality is amazing, but I think it does have some level of camera shake. So if you want to eliminate that altogether, it's either you use a super steady mode, which is the stabilization mode for the front camera, or what you can do is that you can just use the 1080p and that should be good enough. Now this is a footage of the 4K 1x, which means the main lens. So this is an audio test also, but of course it's also a quality test. I'm going to switch it over to 1080p so that everybody, including me, can see how the quality is compared to the 4K and the 1080p. So it depends on what you want, whether or not you want better stabilization or better quality, so you can switch between both. So let's go 1, 2, 3. So this is stabilization on 1080p for the ultra wide angle mode on the front camera. It looks way much more stable. So although I do prefer 4K video recording for the front camera, but knowing the fact that it's extra stable like this, I think that it could be very much used as a vlogging camera. Let's switch to the main lens instead now. 1080p for the main lens, it looks very stabilized. I guess, like, you know, when you walk around, you do a vlogging here up in a rooftop to go and talk. I guess for social media reasons, you can use this 1080p front camera a bit more. So this is good. I'm going to try the final test, which is 2x zoom for this front camera, and see how it is on 1080p. Okay, so my face is like super in the frame, but I don't know what situations that you might need to have like a super zoomed in image, because my hand is all the way stretched out, but my head is still not like within the frame. So if you have like super long basketball hands, then maybe yeah, but I wouldn't use this. And what's good is that you can kind of adjust this, so you know, like maybe you're doing like some meme or something, oh, like you zoom in like close, then maybe it will work. But yeah, I guess you can be the judge on how exactly you want to use. It's good that Oppo has given this kind of flexibility for the front camera compared to a lot of other smartphones within this price range.
So the gaming performance in a nutshell was just okay for the phone. You can run most games that are true at it pretty well, but on a reduced graphics level, considering the fact that the phone has a MediaTek Dimensity 7300 Energy chip, that is to be expected. Because in the end of the day, this isn't a gaming phone, so you can't really expect some high graphics gaming, can you? But that being said, this phone would suit you just fine if you're the kind of person who's into casual games like Pokemon Go or Fallout Shelter, as the games does not require much to run well. But if you're thinking of playing Genshin Impact with this phone, be prepared to play it on low graphics 60 FPS with motion blur turned off, and that is all the phone can master. Because even at the low settings, playing this particular game continuously for 15 minutes did get very warm to the touch, and the battery drain was also pretty quick too. Then moving on to the responsiveness situation that I mentioned earlier, I noticed that there are certain lag when it comes to playing certain games. Like for example, Pokemon Go. I did notice that the screen doesn't detect finer actions on my fingers. There was also a few instances where I was spinning the Pokeball to catch the Pokemon and then the screen just didn't detect my throwing motion. Then I also noticed this during COD Mobile, where my weapon just stopped firing suddenly when my fingers are still on the trigger button. Now luckily that all of these instances does not happen all the time, but it does happen quite often enough where you would definitely notice it, so hopefully there's a software update that could fix this issue. But overall it did run smooth without any lag or stuttering, with no overheating, with over 20 minutes of gameplay on COD Mobile. Now when it comes to the phone's battery, the phone has a 5000 milliamps of battery, which is pretty decently sized, especially for a phone within this very nice and thin form factor. It also has 80 watts of SuperVOOC support that can charge your phone from 0 to 100% in just about 49 minutes or so. Then as for the battery life, I managed to get about 4.5 hours of continuous use. Now this includes normal browsing, watching YouTube videos, watching Netflix and Disney Plus, and a lot of gaming, even though it's not a gaming phone. However, without continuous use, the phone lasted a little over a day before I had to plug it on to charge. And even then, I had actually about 22% battery left, which is just enough for you to give this video a like, a comment and a subscription. Thank you very much in advance. The whole team will appreciate you and the YouTube algorithm as well. Now, as for the phone software, the phone comes with ColorOS version 14.1 out of the box and is based on Android 14 with some big additions from an AI perspective. Now, one of the biggest AI features to come with this phone is the AI Eraser 2.0, where this feature helps you to edit your photos to remove unwanted things like photo bombers or normal passerbys, where the AI will help to remove those objects and fill in the gaps accordingly using generative AI. Then another feature included in the phone is the AI Clear Face feature. Now, unlike normal cloud-based editing, this feature uses AI processing power of the phone itself to enhance facial details, including adjusting my cheeks and increasing the size of my eyes, as it like I don't need to make my eyes any bigger. And yes, you can also do this up to 10 people in a group shot. Then there's the AI Best Face, which is similar to the Best Shot, or is that what's called on the Google Pixel, where if you accidentally blinked, you can correct them with your eyes open using AI, and this feature will come sometime in July through a software update. Then as for AI Studio, it's a feature that you can use to generate AI art from your own picture, so you can turn yourself into a superhero or a cartoon character anytime, anywhere. Now to do that, you just have to open the AI Studio app, and then from there you can choose a bunch of pre-installed templates. Then after that you can just upload your picture and click generate, and it will take less than a minute to generate, and voila. But keep in mind that this app seems to have its own currency. In this case, it's called gems, to generate this new picture, where new users will get up to 5,000 gems, and each picture will cost you about 10 gems. So you can get a fair amount of pictures generated before you need to top up your gems. Then the phone also comes with a Google Gemini Support AI Toolbox feature that can help you to write creatively using AI. Now this feature can also help you to read out an article that you find online, or even provide a summary as well. So yes, this comes in handy, especially when it comes to reading very long articles, where this feature can only be used if you use the smart sidebar, so make sure you enable them, where you can just open the sidebar towards the right, and both the AI Speak and AI Summary is available over there for you to use. Then the next AI feature is called the AI Recording Summary, which is also based on Google's Gemini Ultra, where you can generate summaries from an audio content in the Recordings app as well. Then all the summaries are then exported in the Notes app, where things like to-do lists, time and locations are all highlighted and formatted for easy reading. Now these are some of the many AI features that Oppo has packed within this phone, and there's a ton more included, and if we talk about all of the AI features, it will take us a very long time. So yeah, be sure to explore the phone a little more if you want to check it out. Now as for ColorOS 14.1 itself, I really like the overall design language of it. It is quite clean and pleasant to look at, because some UIs have a fairly cluttered design that sometimes can give you an instant headache. I'm not kidding, because the emphasis on gesture controls is also something that I'm a huge fan of. If you want to take a screenshot, just swipe the screen with 3 fingers. Want to access the split screen, just swipe from the bottom with 3 fingers. And when you're on one app, you can just tap on another app, which is super simple and convenient. However, I do have just one complaint, is the fact that there are too many bloatware present. Now I know I can just simply uninstall the apps, but I think is year 2024 and bloatware should not be a thing anymore. But what is still a thing though is website articles. And yes, you can read a written version of this whole video at our website at www.adamlobo.tv, and we also have a new IG page for Adam Lobo TV too. All the links will be down below. So in conclusion, the Oppo Reno 12 Pro is a very beautiful phone and it feels really good in the hands, has a very good screen, and the AI features bundle in this phone is indeed very great to use too. Now both the Pro and the non-Pro variant are currently available for pre-order now, where I'll leave all the details down below, where you can even stand a chance to win yourself a free trip to Korea. But in the end of the day, I would love to know what you think of the phone. Let me know in the comment section below and let's discuss it over there.